think about a cool down, what are we thinking about? Thinking about cooling down our body, working on some stretching and some mobility. If you've done a heavy strength day, it's about trying to get some good range back into the muscles and balancing out the body's flexibility and getting rid of some general stiffness. And if it's been, you know, a really hard metcon, then we just want to cool the body down slowly, relax, and, you know, if it's been a run, we want to really focus on the legs, lower back. For me, I've done a strength day, so just going to look at everything. So here's a kind of a general stretching plan for me. Look at a hamstring stretch. So tuck one leg in, the other leg out straight, and sit up nice and tall and reach for that toe. If you can only grab your calf, put your hands under your calf and just hang out here for a good 30 seconds, nice and steady. Some common problems is bending from the back, so we want our upper back to be relatively flat as we lean forward. We don't want too much of this arching. There's no need for it. You'll get a good hamstring stretch just from bending forward at the hips. Okay, and flexing this toe forward, give you a nice good burn, good stretch through the calf. So normally go both legs, 30 seconds to a minute. If I've done a lot of leg work, then I might go twice with that one. Then the groin, put the soles of the feet in together, squeeze them in tight, and push down on your knees, and stretch up through your upper body. Sit nice and tall. Katie, you going to come and do some stretching with me?
No. Thank you, I've done my stretching for today. Stretched out.
Jade's done max sit-ups, so her tummy was feeling it. So she stretched out her tummy muscles for about 3 hours. She's going to feel it tomorrow. Jade, how are the tummy muscles feeling?
A little bit weak.
A little bit weak. She's a little bit shy about it. 150 sit-ups will do that to you. That's a really good one. I'm going to stretch our glutes and our butt cheeks out. So one leg over the other hip and just hug the knee in nice and tight. Knee to chest. Squeeze it in. This video is not going to go for real time, so just give you a good idea of what sort of stretches you should be doing, or that might work for you. If you don't get a good stretch out of them, don't bother doing them. Find some other ones that work for you. Okay, from this position, you rotate away from the knee and use your elbow to push and get some extra rotation out of it. So for the other side, left knee, left foot towards right hip, twist over to the left and use your right elbow to give you a little bit extra range. Stretch that lower and upper back out. Another good lower back stretch. One knee up. And take it over to the right side if it's the left leg, and put the left arm out the opposite way and looking over that left shoulder. Just trying to get the left knee down to the ground. You can use your right hand to put a bit of force down there. Just twisting the spine. Good stretch through the lower back. Some of you might feel it in your tight glutes, tight hip muscles. So going both sides there. I like to stretch my hip flexors, so leaning into it, opening up his hip flexor. And then even lifting the knee off the ground and just hanging out here. Use your hands for balance as you like. So 30 seconds there with each leg. That's one that I might do twice as well, just because I'm a bit tight there. You can do an old yoga rotation if you like. Stretch the back as well. I always do this for my hamstrings, or I have been of late since I've been working on my hamstring flexibility. Feet together, lean forward, bend at the hips, so flat back, and then just rolling down and relaxing. Be nice to get my hands on the floor. Can't today. Some days I'm more flexible than others. Okay, for the upper body, just take the right arm across the body and use this left arm to provide some force and pull the elbow in towards the opposite shoulder. So getting a real stretch right across the delt. Both sides there. This arm that's across can be bent or straight, and the angle that you stretch it will pinpoint different spots in the shoulder. So find where you're really tight and just hang out there for 30 seconds. Okay, then arm up, elbow up, and pushing your elbow down so that your hand's reaching down your back. Okay, that's a pretty simple one. Reach across different parts of your back for a slightly different stretch. Hang out with that one. Okay, now grab your hands at the back and open your chest up, lifting those hands up as high as you can. I can't lift them very high. I'm very tight. Okay, that's 3 good stretches for the upper body. Also, you can get in between a doorway and just lean into a stretch. Okay, so hands either side of the doorway and leaning forward inside it. That's always a good one to open up the chest. For your lats, these big muscles in your back and at the side. Just arching over, the old boonie stretch. Sorry I don't have a mustache for this one. Make sure I've got my fake mustache prepared for next time we do the boonie stretch. Okay, lastly, take your hands, sit on them, okay, just do a neck stretch. Just going to stretch out the traps, somewhere where everyone gets tight, particularly working at computers, working in offices or retail, where you're leaning over a counter, you got your head in a bad position. Just stretching that muscle out can alleviate a lot of tension and a lot of headaches. And even using the opposite arm for a bit extra pressure and looking under the armpit. Slightly different stretch. So that's pretty much my cool down. That can take anywhere between sort of 10 and 15 minutes. And yeah, a couple of extra minutes on the areas where you're super tight. So you can do that really at any time of the day, but with static stretching like this, you certainly want to make sure your muscles are warm or you're not going to get any gains. So get warm or do it after to cool down. Some other good effective cool down tips for reducing muscle soreness is an ice bath. So grab a couple of bags of ice, chuck it in your bathtub full of cold water, fill up a big rubbish bin and load a couple of bags of ice into it every time you want to have a nice refreshing cool down. That's a good way to have an ice bath. Just leave it full with cold water and and chuck the ice in whenever you need it and jump in. Hot and cold showers, so really hot for a couple of minutes, really cold for a minute, just shocking your body for that extra blood flow, and that extra blood flow pumping through your body will just help you recover quicker. Get your protein into your body. Body uses that up every 3 to 4 hours, so you need to keep replenishing your stores. I eat a lot of good fats, peanut butter, nuts, avocados. Get your fats up after a workout, and certainly your carbohydrates, so sweet potatoes, pumpkins, and just your good sources of carbs in most of your vegetables. So that's pretty much how I recover, and hopefully that should leave you in good stead for tomorrow's workout, or if tomorrow's a rest day, in good stead for a rest day and maybe working on some skills.